I'm Teresa Woodard in Dallas with your headlines in North Texas. We start in Arlington. A man filed a lawsuit after walking into his job at an Ace Hardware on Juneteenth in 2023 and finding a noose. As Scoop Jefferson reports, the man claims the company punished him for reporting it.
This video of a backpack hanging by a noose is at the center of a civil lawsuit, and Devontrick Hartsfield believes that the noose
I was traumatized.
Was put up to target him.
I felt like it was a message. It was very intentional. I was the only black man there.
Hartsfield says the noose was put up at his job on June 19th, 2023. That's when he worked as a delivery driver here at Van Mark Ace Hardware on West Lamar in Arlington.
I took pictures first and I sent them to HR and I wrote an email.
In the lawsuit, Hartsfield says that as he and a coworker walked into the warehouse, the coworker said to him, "Hey, look up," and pointed to the noose. WFAA reached out to Ace Hardware by phone and email, but has not heard back.
I was in shock. I couldn't believe it. I needed him to say it again.
That's how Fort Worth lawyer Jason Smith reacted when Devontrick shared the Juneteenth incident with him, especially since he knows Miss Opal Lee personally.
She stood her whole life for people who've gone through things like this, when her family went through things like this.
Smith included this in the lawsuit against Ace Hardware, stating that after his client reported the news to management, he was suspended without pay and was never brought back to work.
It's torn me apart, physically, emotionally, financially.
And that's why the lawsuit also seeks monetary relief of over $1 million, or whatever the finder of fact thinks is fair. And after what his client says happened,
racism hasn't gone away.
They hope the lawsuit sends a strong message about fairness in the workplace. In Arlington, I'm Scoop Jefferson.
A deadly shooting in Dallas's Deep Ellum neighborhood is reigniting concerns about safety. This latest one happened at Good Latimer and Main Street, days after another man was shot to death at Commerce and South Hall. Business owners told Richard Solomon crime is a persistent issue in one of the busiest areas of Dallas.
Well, last night's shooting was the second shooting that happened here in Deep Ellum within the last week. And what you might not see all the time is what some businesses are left with. And customers, along with businesses, say this violence is senseless.
That to me is heartbreaking.
Deep Ellum is known for its nightlife, music, and crowds, but that energy was shattered by gunfire early Friday morning.
That's thoughtlessness. You know what I mean? Someone's life has been taken for no reason.
These two,
for no reason at all,
heard the shooting along Main Street.
I mean, I didn't think it was gunshots because I'm not used to it, but she said that's gunshots, and we saw people running.
Dallas police say 19-year-old David Stribling was shot and killed, glass pierced by bullets in front of this business.
It was like pop, pop, pop.
Immediately started running.
And this shooting comes almost a week after police say a 32-year-old man was shot and killed on Sunday.
No violence is welcome here.
Stephanie Keller-Hudeberg is the executive director of the Deep Ellum Foundation.
And we know that with nighttime and with hundreds of thousands of people coming, that safety is paramount. And so not one single incident is welcome in this community.
She says they're always working to make sure this area is safe. In 2022, the foundation opened this command center where they can actively respond to situations with security guards and police. They also launched a safety plan which increased police presence and added more than 100 cameras.
Business owners, they want their property to look good. You know what I mean? They didn't ask for this.
And as police search for any possible suspects, it's this violence they want out of this community.
And that's just unnecessary.
In Dallas, I'm Richard Solomon.
An airport expansion in Collin County is taking a major step forward, even though residents voted against it. We obtained a document that shows a passenger airline is in talks to fly the first commercial flights from McKinney. The city just approved new construction this week with plans to make its airport a third option for passengers who might not want to drive to DFW Airport or Love Field in Dallas. Cole Sullivan spent months working to find out which airline could land in McKinney.
When commercial passengers take off for the first time from the McKinney Airport, this letter shows Avelo Airlines is in talks to fly them. The ultra-low-cost carrier already flies from DFW to its New Haven, Connecticut hub, But its self-described strategy is to fly into smaller and more convenient airports.
We served 83 routes at year-end 2024. This year we have another 15 that are coming.
WFAA spent months trying to get public records tied to the airport. This week, the Texas Attorney General's office ruled against Avelo's request to keep private a signed letter of intent between it and McKinney. We reached out to an Avelo spokesperson who says the airline, quote, has nothing to add. Avelo has faced immigration protests at airports across the country this spring. The airline says it signed a deal with the feds to fly deportation flights from an airport outside Phoenix. That's separate from commercial flights, like the ones McKinney soon hopes for. Building out commercial service at this airport has been controversial too. Voters initially denied a bond that would have paid for expansion. The city has a new plan it's pushing forward, and the newly sworn-in mayor tells us this week he's in support of it.
I'm certainly a believer in the airport, a supporter, and will do what needs to be done to help it be successful.
A McKinney spokesperson says the city will not comment on ongoing negotiations with any airlines, but says, quote, we do want to share how excited we are that community members will soon have affordable flights from McKinney without long drives to the other two airports in the region. The city plans to break ground this summer, with flights potentially on Avelo taking off late next year. In McKinney, I'm Cole Sullivan.
Recovery is continuing in Bonham after a tornado hit that city in early June. Homes were damaged, many people lost power, but as Jobin Punigo reports, difficult times are bringing out the best in that community.
All it takes is one tornado.
You could hear it crashing.
To change how a town looks.
It's like a war zone.
And to learn what town means.
Kindness is your most important asset you can have.
Fritz Dietrich drove up to Bonham this morning.
20 after 2.
They come that early. It's kind of rough.
2 and B, right up to the green cone.
To a food drive, and not for himself, but others.
Take enough for 8 families.
We've got 8 in A.
This is the line of vehicles.
Well, I know it was out to the street.
5 and A.
The North Texas Food Bank and Feeding Fannin joined up to feed a town hungry for help. People like Sandra Shiver.
Lost my town. There were so many people damaged. I feel lost.
It won't open because
Sandra took us back to her street and her home, which is damaged and still drying out.
Nothing's going to be the same for a long time here.
She just got power back. That's why these bags of food are much more than that.
But this is what we should do for each other.
Well, volunteers are expecting to help about 400 families today at this distribution. That's almost double what they see in a month.
The National Weather Service confirmed 3 EF1 tornadoes last week. They are thankful for no fatalities. They are thankful for people who care.
And I'm so proud of our town. We're going to survive this, and we're going to get through it.
Thank you.
Thank you. In Bonham, I'm Jobin Pike.
Sending them good thoughts. Those are your headlines from North Texas.